Hello everyone, this is Andrew, the Archon philosopher, talking philosophy to the philosopher in all of us. And today I want to talk about structural unfinalizability, it's a mouthful, and why it's important to physics and philosophy. So let's start here by getting a definition and talking about what is structural unfinalizability. The word comes from a Russian philosopher. Well, the word unfinalizability comes from a Russian philosopher, Mikhail Bakhtin, and he was talking about how meaning was unfinalizable. You try to get the meaning of something, you keep on going down, it never seems to end. This may be in line with Quine's idea of a web of belief and a coherentist approach to meaning. But I took this idea and I expanded it out to the laws of physical nature, of which consciousness is one of them. But it is the inability of consciousness to know certain things, not by any failure, but by the operations of the laws of physical nature. That is, they will not allow consciousness to interfere in their operations. And why is that? Well, let's turn to Martin Heidegger and his idea of equiprimordial. So he had an idea of equiprimordial, which is equally primary. And so he had this idea that all the elements of a sentient creature are equally primary to create that sentient creature, who we call Dasein. And they're all equal and none dominate the other and all are needed. And I took this idea again and expanded it out to apply to the laws of physical nature. And so let's take an example of this. We have time, which is a law of physical nature. And whether you think of time as a moving now, or time as like a window, and then you have causal events come and go and you just see it through the window. In either case, we may ask the question of what causes one moment of time to be after another. Well, you're just going to say that's a strange question, and it is. And you're just going to say that's the way time operates, just one moment's after another. And so what we see here is that time is a structural feature of the universe, does not allow another structural feature, causality, to invade its space, to interfere in its operations and dominate it, or whatever term we want. It's very simple. Time is very simple and just operates the way it operates. It doesn't need any of the other laws of physical nature to explain its operation. It is equally primary. It is just basic and simple. And we see this in its operations. And let's go back and take a look at David Hume way back in the 1700s, awakening Immanuel Kant from his dogmatic slumber. He said that we cannot see causality. And causality is a law of physical nature. We have causal sequences, we see them, but we don't see why it's the case. We see it happening, but we cannot get in there. And so we see another example of unfinalizability. And we have the example of a match striking the friction pad and giving us a flame. Well, why is it this collection of chemicals and not some other? And we can never answer these types of questions because causality works as it works, and we cannot penetrate this with consciousness, with understanding. And so here we had an early example of structural unfinalizability. But we have a more recent example, which is quite clear, especially in the physics community, and that's from Werner Heisenberg with his uncertainty principle. And this is uncertainty deals with knowledge, so it's an epistemological question, a question of consciousness. And but it's more than that. It started out where if you measure a particle's position, you cannot know its momentum, and because measuring one affects the other, but it's not always like that, because sometimes the position is locked into place and you try to measure its momentum and you cannot. And so here we see the law of physical nature, materiality, which includes all the laws of physics. This law of physical nature will not allow consciousness to get in there to sort something out. And there's just a barrier placed up there that we cannot seem to get around. Some questions we ask, why is there a spin of an electron? We can't seem to answer that question, because this is just one of those simple features of the law of physical nature, materiality. It's just how materiality operates, and will not have anything else get in the way of its very simple, primordial operation. And so what we see here is we live in the center of a clearing, as Heidegger put it, in the middle of the field of experience, in the lived-in world. And we're very safe here in the middle. We can explain things. The causal sequences are clear, and we can navigate, and we don't wind up killing ourselves prematurely or winding up in imprisonment or in slavery or insanity or something. We can live a good life here in the center of the clearing. But as we approach the very edges where the structure is, and we start seeing things that just won't let us know it, and it's not because we're not skilled in asking questions or uncovering things. It's that these features, these structural features of our world will not allow any other law of physical nature to intrude upon its affairs. And so here we are, and hopefully someone got something from this and enjoyed the video. And I thank you for dropping in. And remember, once we know where we are, we will know who we are, and then we will know what to do. Thank you for supporting this channel.